Okay, so you are going to need paper and some markers. I'm going to start with some cool colored markers at the bottom of my paper. And again, if you need to use colored pencils, that's fine. If you want to, I'd probably start with a pencil. So I'm going to draw several layers of hills to kind of create a landscape. And then as I do each hill, I'm going to outline it, and I'm going to use lines put really close together to give it the illusion that it's a hill. So I'm going to kind of draw my lines as I'm going. And anytime you need to pause during this, that's fine. So each layer of my hills, I want to do a different direction. And I do think this would be fun to do with colored pencils and crayons, so you can get a lot of different shades in there. And we're using cool colors, so purples, greens, blues. Each section is going to be different. Each section, my lines are going a different direction. And again, however you want to do those lines, I'm using a colored pencil now. This is one of my favorite colored pencil colors. If you feel like, and again, this is just on whatever paper you can find. So if you need to go back and do them a different way, if you wanted to make your section smaller, you can always go back and add some more different designs that are in there. And then my last section is way in the back. And again, you can kind of control how close, how thin, how thick. Go back and make some of these lines a little bit thicker. All sorts of ways you can kind of spice it up. Once I'm done with the bottom of my paper, right down here, now I'm going to do my sky. And in my sky, I am definitely using warm colors. So again, my warm colors, just to start off with, yellows, oranges, reds, and again, both colored pencils and markers are fine. And if you don't have any of those, crayons. And you might want to do this in an ombre effect. So I'm going to start off with my yellow. This is what would make it great if you are using colored pencils. You can get a lot of different colors by adding the colored pencils in there. Uh-oh, that one broke. I guess I'll go right to my orange. Between colored pencils and markers, I should be able to get a lot of different colors. I keep pushing too hard and breaking my colored pencils. So I do love mixing my colored pencils with my markers. You'd be surprised at how many different shades. Oh, that one's the same. They say that, and then it's the same one. How many different shades most colored pencil packets have. And unfortunately, I do not have a good red marker. And then as I get out to the edge, I'm going to finish with some red violet. So depending on how far out you get, you might be able to radiate far enough out that you can get. Now, when I'm all done with that, using a pencil, you're going to make a couple of trees. The tree closest to the front is going to be a little bit bigger. And again, I'll draw mine in a Sharpie. Your tree is got a skinnier trunk, and then it can kind of branch out. So I always like to call it like a Y tree. And yes, you're going to color it in. Do a better job coloring in than I just did. Add some branches. Again, your branches are going to be a little bit thicker towards the bottom. And then way back here in the background, I'm going to make another tinier tree because it's in the back, so it's going to be a lot smaller. Again, a little Y tree. And there is my final project.